Continuing my journey through the Bone series, I now come to Bone Tall Tales. This is one of the supplementary books in the Bone series, outside of the main epic. Now, there's a sequel to this book called More Tall Tales, which I've already read and reviewed on this channel. I'm doing them out of order, obviously. I did More Tall Tales first and am now belatedly circling back to the original Tall Tales. And that's for no good reason other than More Tall Tales was on my library shelves, and this book was not on my library shelf. I had to special order this book from interlibrary loan because my library didn't have it for whatever reason. But putting aside the fact that I'm doing these books out of order, here is my review. So, again, these are supplementary books. It's not part of the main Bone epic, but it's just extra stories. There's a framing story where Smiley Bone is bringing out the Cub Scouts for campfires, and then while they're around the campfires, he starts telling them tales. And this is where the tall tales come in. All of the art here is done by Jeff Smith, who's the illustrator for the original Bone series and also the writer. And it looks like he wrote and illustrated the frame story and also the first story in the series, Powers That Be. But the other three stories are written by his collaborator, Tom Sniegoski, and are all about Big Johnson Bone. So let's go through these in order. First one is a supplementary story which takes place, I think this is around volume 3 in the original Bone epic. So takes place sometime around volume 3 in the original Bone epic when the Bones are repairing the old cottage in the forest. And here's a little story about Phone Bone and Phony Bone that we never heard before, where Phony Bone finds a treasure map. They follow the treasure map and end up in an eagle's nest, then end up digging for the treasure, only to find, spoiler alert, Phony's laundry. So, it's a very short story, but a charming story. And it's got a good Looney Tunes cartoon-esque sense of pacing here, where we just jump from one danger to another until we get to the end of the story. Then the next story is the birth of Big Bone Johnson. Oh, no, Big Johnson Bone. Or what was his name? Yeah, Big Johnson Bone. So, Big Johnson Bone was alluded to as the founder of Boneville in the Bone epic proper. And so this book is taking advantage of that legend to flesh it out and give us some actual stories about Big Johnson Bone. And in keeping with the theme of tall tales, these are all tall tales, imitating kind of exaggerated folk tales. So even as a baby, he gets taken out by the winter. He fights Old Man Winter, beats up a bear, beats up Old Man Winter, and comes home to eat soup. Then the next story is a cobbler gobbler, where he goes to an eating contest and then falls in love with his opponent, Gertie, and ends up letting her win in an act of love. But she gets a little gas and ends up flying out to the moon. And that's the end of that story, which is a little bit of a disappointing ending, although this is setting up Big Johnson Bone meeting her again on the moon, which is a story which takes place in more Tall Tales. And I'm not sure if they were already planning that book. I think they must have been. Yeah, they must have been already planning it. So I assume this book was just, this story here is just meant to set up meeting Gertie on the moon, which takes place in more Tall Tales. And then Todd, one of the Cub Scouts, gets the magic big hat, goes to sleep in it, and has a dream about the lost tale of Big Johnson Bone. Now, this last story is the longest and is also a reprint. This last story originally appeared in Stupid, Stupid Rat Tales, which was a previous book, which I also got from the library and also reviewed on this channel. And in Stupid, Stupid Tales, well, it's the exact same, Stupid, Stupid Rat Tales contains this exact same story, but it was in black and white in Stupid, Stupid Rat Tales, which is the way the story was originally published. Although looking at all these colors here, it's hard to believe that this was originally a black and white story, huh? You'd think the story had always been in color. But no, it was originally a black and white story, and it's here colorized, and it's much more fun to read in color. Now, I've already reviewed this story and talked about it in my review of Stupid, Stupid Rat Tales, which I'll try to remember to link in the description down below. So I don't really have much to add to it, other than rereading the story, I was reminded of how much fun it was. This is just a nice, fun story. Lots of good humor in it, cute animals, interesting plot, very cartoonish, but done in a fun, cartoonish sort of way. So, yeah, I enjoyed rereading this. And then flip to the end here, and we've got Todd waking up and realize he's been dreaming, and then leaves the hat back with Smiley Bone and what was his name again? I forgot. It's going to come to me in a moment. Smiley Bone and his rat creature. And then there's a sneak peek here of Quest for the Spark Book 1, which is another Bone book, which I have also read and reviewed on this channel before, so won't talk too much about this, other than in Book 3, this is Quest for the Spark Book 1, but in Book 3 of Quest for the Spark, some of the characters from this adventure reappear. So Stillman the dragon reappears in Quest for the Spark Book 3, as well as Porter the turtle reappears. So I guess it's maybe fitting that the end of this book gives you an advertisement for the Quest for the Spark trilogy. And there we have it. So this is Bone Tall Tales.